What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. We post more videos on Sundays and every Wednesday. So today we're gonna be talking about index. So I'm gonna talk about the Euro index and the US dollar index because most of people they trade USD pairs and Euro pairs. So that's why I actually chose this pairs. So before you make your trading decisions, you are supposed to know where the pairs that you're gonna be trading that are heading to, where, like which direction, how much volatility you're gonna be expecting. So I'm gonna talk to you uh, how I predict the direction, and also how do you know it's gonna be this volatile. So the other structures that we see are the ones that actually tells us with the like how much pips can you expect during that week. So first I'm going to talk about the Euro index. So Euro index, we have this wedge. So this falling wedge with this line, this red line is our the resistance that we have. So price is about to move up, so this will be our resistance. So the last resistance, then the first resistance. So on support we have this line dating back to 31 October 2017. That's when it started. Then we moved straight to now, that is today. So if I will zoom it in for you, so I actually talked up, I talk about this a lot. So descending channels and ascending channels, I talked to my guys a lot about them because they are profitable and you can actually expect volatility depending on how steep the descending channel or the ascending channel look like, right? So on here we have this resistance and we have this resistance. So pretty much you usually get a highest probability when you get confluence of price like this. If price was to bounce to here, you know that you can actually buy with like a little bit more volume than usual, right? So since price didn't bounce off here, I mean it bounced, like the range that you're looking at is this, right? So you have the first touch over here, the second touch over here, then the third touch was supposed to be around here last um, for this last support on the descending channel. Then the top part is here, so this third part. Then we're actually looking forward for price to go to the upside, I mean to this resistance, right? So since we're having a descending channel, we have something like this. We have this thing before, like uh, back in history. So price action, if you know what price action means, I mean, you're just taking the history, putting it back into the future, then you can actually trade the same thing. So we had this ascending channel towards the resistance. Look what happened. You had price falling to the downside. It didn't move like this. It just went straight down to this resistance. That's the same thing as what we're having. Though it was moving in a descending channel, but we have the same thing over here. Descending channel, but toward the resistance. Ascending channel toward the resistance. Look what happened. Boom, to the downside. That's the same thing as we have. Boom, to the downside. Though it didn't really touch here. I mean, maybe it's because I didn't really draw my resistance well, but if I was to draw it like this, if I was to cut the wick out, as you can see, I cut the wick out here, I would definitely touch this candlestick. But still, regardless, I just have to be sure. But still, I know if I was to trade this in this, I would just put my long somewhere here on this resistance, of course. Then my stop loss, I just have to put it here. So I might lose 55, I mean half a percent, but gain approximately, so 3%. I mean, we just have to touch this resistance, but still that will be fine. Price doesn't move straight up, so it will just move in according to here. So it might take a little bit longer, but still we know that this is a 2-hour time frame, by the way, so it's not gonna take more than like the whole week. So 3% on an index, guys, that's a lot. So I'm gonna show you also the pairs that I looked at, the pairs that I'm actually trading this week, and because of this index, I'm actually looking for euro to strengthen in all its pairs. So if I have euro USD, I'm buying. I'm gonna show you also on my MetaTrader 4. If I have euro ZAR, I'm buying. If I have euro Swiss franc, I just have to find where to buy. That's the thing. As you can see right now, it's actually moving. I mean, at, like an hour ago, I still remember it was somewhere here, and now because we had like USD PMI, they were actually being announced like 30 minutes ago. That's when you started seeing this movement. So I'm gonna talk about USD index before I go to the pairs first. USD index. So as you can see, I usually want to take the highest points if I'm drawing a channel. So here for me it was the highest point. I dumped this middle because it didn't really reach my resistance, so I dumped it. I took the next one. Then as you can see, my index was broken, so my resistance was broken over this area. Then it was just a false break. I mean, if you saw our Sunday breakdown, so our previous Sunday breakdown, you have a clear idea how our pair looked like, how this pair looked like. Excuse me. So price was around here, and I was saying, guys, I'm looking for US dollar to weekend this week, and I told you like I'm actually selling US dollar. I'm actually buying in other currencies that I'm gonna be trading. So first, I don't just buy just because I anticipate the what do you call it, the index to be weakening. So I just expect all the US dollar pairs to weaken. I mean, so you have to look also on the structures and the patterns. So you just don't buy or sell a currency because, like, you might say, okay, I'm gonna buy um I'm gonna buy something like Euro GSD, right? Then at the same time, all the indexes are weakening. So only the currency that has a little bit of stronger fundamentals is gonna win. So you might say, okay, since US dollar is strengthening, let me buy. But what if all the indexes, all the pairs are strengthening? What are you gonna do? So you have to also look at the structures. So in this case, US dollar, we had our resistance here, then we had a false break. I mean, this it requires someone who has like a little bit big account, so I don't really encourage anyone to just trade it if you have a small account. And I personally, I mean, it's too volatile also, so I don't really trade it and doesn't really respect. I mean, recently from the start of the year, it wasn't really respecting the what you call it, the support and resistance. So really, I don't really see the point of trading something like that. But you can actually rely on it while you're trying to figure out where it's gonna be heading and like just an overall movement. That's all. So not to say I'm gonna put my stop loss here. Probably if you were to trade here, probably you put a stop loss over here because you're trading with volume size of 1.00. So somewhere here it was gonna be hit, and like you had like what like $1,000 stop loss. I'm saying like $1,000 loss. So what's the problem? What's the point of that? So that's why I really don't trade this much. So since we are looking for US dollar weakening, there was no much of a structure here, unlike the Euro index. On this case, we had only this channel, and we just have to rely that prices to bounce off the channel resistance and support. That's all. So the resistance that we'll be looking at is here around 100. So 100 points that we'll be looking for, maybe this pair to be heading towards the resistance. It's going to take a little bit longer, maybe next year, if yeah, maybe next 4 months probably. That's when you see price hitting this resistance. Then from there you can actually see price coming down. But for now, I mean, we have to look for US dollar weakening. Then I'm just gonna head with you to the pairs that we're actually trading. The pairs, we're starting with the king of the week. I mean, euros are, for the past 3 weeks for me, it was forming this structure. I'm actually falling in love with this. So I spoke about this resistance, where price is heading now. That's the maximum resistance that we're gonna have. This is the last maximum high that we had ever. Then we have this second, where price is gonna be heading soon. Then we have where price is right now, and we have this structure that is, I mean, it has already been completed, so I'm actually trading it right now. Then we have this ascending channel that was nice also. So the thing that I've been talking about the past 2 weeks is this flag pattern. So I've been saying, guys, uh, this flag from here going up to here, that's the same as this flag that we have. So let me just copy it nicely then from this area going to here. Then the same structure is what we are gonna be having here. So if I can expand this for you, you see it as like this. So you'll be having really didn't move. It's not really completing the whole thing because this is a smaller thing and this is a little bit bigger thing. So we have price movement from down, consolidated, break above, a little bit consolidation, break above, then move in an ascending channel towards here. Then from there you can actually look for a source. So I've been talking about this for 2 weeks now, guys. If you haven't looked for buys on here, I don't know what you're looking for. So going on a smaller time frame now, I'm just gonna hit the 1 hour time frame, then you can actually see this structure like this structure clearly. So on a smaller time frame, as I was saying, so we had this impulse, then correction, now impulse towards here, then we had an ascending channel. That's the same thing as what we're gonna have here. Impulse, correction, then impulse, correction, then we continue, then ascending channel going forward into the future, right? But I also have to take in consideration that we can also have a sell, but not as structures are looking like this. So unless if we bounce over here, then we form maybe some, while we are going up, start forming a ascending channel, then I look for sales. Of course, I don't have to be naive and say it's gonna break. If it's an ascending channel towards this resistance, I'm gonna look for sales. That's what I'll be looking for. So don't say, okay, since this guy had said it's gonna break above, pretty much maybe if it's an ascending channel, it's not gonna break above. I can assure you that. So I will just zoom it in. So for you guys, I think you agree with me that this structure, and this structure looks a little bit alike. So 1, 2, 3, they look alike. So this was like this and price actually went up. This was like this, price went down. This looks like the same as this, and I don't have to look for price moving to the downside. Of course, we actually had our gross domestic product hitting 3.1%. I wasn't expecting that. I was actually looking forward that we're gonna go, not looking forward though, but I was just thinking that we're just gonna head into recession just like that. But I mean, that was surprising. But still, I'm not gonna look for sales just because we had only the GDP hitting 3.1%. So here, since this structure is looking like this structure, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this pattern, bar pattern from this area to here, going to this highest high that we had, then I can actually just take that, put it over here, as you can see here. I think you all agree with me that this is the same and we have to look for buys. I mean, maybe not to this area, but even if you take 1% of euros, I can assure you from here, I think you can hit something like $20. If you take 1%, then that's still fine. So same structure, price movement to the upside. That's what we are looking for. So till you take profit here, maybe stay out of the trade. I mean, look for another opportunity, wait for consolidation. Like as I drew here, I was like, price move up, consolidate. So it will be something like this. Something like this. Consolidation, forming a flag also, move to the upside, consolidation, move to the upside. That's what we are looking for. So this is what I was trying to explain, guys. When you have your index showing you that price is gonna move to the upside, look for buy positions on the other place that has a base currency of euro if you're looking at the euro index. So I'm gonna show you also euro USD, with euro being the stronger currency, USD with the index that is actually weakening. Then I'm gonna show you also USD Swiss franc, with USD being the weaker currency and Swiss franc without the index that I have looked for right now. The beauty of Euro USD is I took into consideration all the two indexes. So I had euro strengthening and US dollar weakening, and at the same time I had incredible structures on my market on this pair. So I had this descending channel with one, two, third touch is gonna be here. Then I had also this structure with one, two, three, third structure. Then on a smaller time frame, on third time frame, I had also a descending channel with three structures also. So all making a confluence of this area. So I'm gonna zoom it in for you. As you can see, price just pew touch, then straight. It's now actually going up. That's the beauty of this pair. So I'm gonna show you on the let's go on 1 hour time frame, then go to 30 minutes time frame, then we can actually show you entry and all. So it may look a little bit different in your eyes, but still it's the same thing. So I'm just gonna take it for you from here to here, or let me take it from here to this end and see where our price is gonna move to and how. So I'm gonna take this, put it here. I think I will have to stretch it a bit so that it can actually start something like this. So something like this. So it's this straight line, up a bit, went down, up a bit, went and make it a little bit steeper thing, then boom. Now where price is here. So what you're looking for is a small flag, then prices to shoot up. So that's the only difference that it's gonna make. I mean, the time that it took from this area to here, it could have just shoot into here if there was resistance over here, but there was no resistance, so that's why price had to pull to the downside a bit, then move to the upside. So this was the beauty that I was talking about. Like, that's why I love price action. I don't really look much into fundamentals. I do sometimes if I want to see how volatile the pair is gonna be, how the news is gonna be important. I mean, it's gonna determine also how the price is gonna move, how much pips also. So you can take both things into consideration. But like, why I love price action is the same thing. Not long ago it happened, and it's actually happening, and you can actually capitalize on that. And the beautiful thing is this is a 30 minutes time frame. I'm not gonna wait for the whole week for price to reach here. You understand? So maybe price will reach here by Friday. Then now we have also a bigger movement to this end where price hasn't reached in a long time. So it took from this area to here. I mean, it took like the whole month of August, and now we're in September, and this whole margin hasn't been filled. It's gonna, like, it's ending at half around here, then going pick down. But still, you can also look for sell setups because you never know what will happen. You might have an ascending channel, or you might have the same price structure like this. I mean, if it's like this, it's a price like it'll be a flag, so that'll be okay. Price can still move to the upside, but like if price end here directly, you can see this is more like a double bottom. So here and this double bottom, and pretty much this will be a false break. So around this area will be a bit of a false break, then price should to the downside. But still, I mean, that's in for the future to decide. So the last bit that we're gonna be looking at is USD Swiss franc. So for those who use TradingView, you can follow me. My name is Tapio Junior Chirome, so you can follow this name on TradingView. So before I went to USD Swiss franc, I wanted to show you the analysis that I did yesterday. I mean, after I saw that price was gonna move like that, just wanted to show you how price went. So let me just play it for you. So price was around this area, then it went up a bit, then pew. This is today. I mean, from today, that's when it broke, then went straight. Now it's actually moving towards this resistance. So this is just to show that if you know what the index is telling you, like, it's easier to predict where price is gonna go. So I just have to be a little bit patient, and I actually drew this so that this can be a wedge, then price can just fall nicely into our sell position. So I'm gonna show you also on a normal paper before. So this was published on 2 September, that's yesterday, and it's already dropped like 0.32%. So we're still going, I mean, we're still holding on this. I'll show you also on my MetaTrader report. The full chart on USD Swiss franc, as you can see. So we had one, two, third resistance was gonna be here. It was here, I mean, not to say it was gonna be here. Then you had one, two. I can adjust this. I usually adjust my charts just depending on what price is doing. So I adjust usually, and sometimes you'll be wrong for the first analysis, so you just have to adjust it and see if you correct the second one or third one. So this resistance, that's the first target that you're gonna get. So from here to this, then from there you can actually get consolidation bounce to the downside, or you can get price moving back to the upside. So for now we're still okay by holding this sell. So after you see that, okay, US dollar is gonna be weakening, so what can I do? I mean, this was Tuesday when it started dropping. I mean, the whole of Monday price was still moving to the upside. So it doesn't matter that the index is telling you, okay, sell, but price hasn't reached the resistance. So how can you sell here? That's when you get like scenarios like this. You sell what price is still here, then boom, it went down, came back to the upside to take the resistance first, then goes to the downside. You understand? So if you take the pair while it's still here, that's still fine if you put your stop loss above here so that you won't get hit. You understand? Or usually I put my stop loss a little bit above the previous high, so that even if price makes a false break, it can come do a double bottom, like a double top over here, then goes to the downside. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, please subscribe to this channel and like this video if you liked it. Until next time, cheers.